Welcome to the introductory video to FLUX3 Trend Cluster Options Trading System. This is the third generation of Flux. We've added a couple tweaks to make it more awesomer than it already was. This is a really mind-blowing discovery. It's a discovery that we figured out quite a while back. Well, I don't know how much we figure out. It's by inspiration, receive that knowledge, and so we have this wonderful new discovery in price action trading, which is a very what do you call it, stable concept, and upon a stable concept we can combine a couple other factors and mechanisms for entry and profit-taking exit to establish a high probability trading system that we can look to depend on into the future for potential extremely excellent or extremely awesome compounding. Now, this system can be used with stock. It's one trade at a time. Now, the logo here says options trading system just because that's just what the logo says, and that's where we first put the system. We'll probably put this on the Stock Trading Authority site, I think. Yeah, so anyways, this system is for options, so we explain options and options positioning and which best options to trade with this system. And so we use this flux, ever-flowing concept between swings and trends, and it's just really fascinating how it works and how it interlocks price, and how we can just simply stay in these trades and go back from one to the other to the other to the other in quite an impressive fashion. So let's just go look at the systems results. These systems results are based on the actual system. So that means you're not getting anyone's rendition of their trading of the system. Okay, so what that means is that some people pay attention and do a good job and some don't. All right, so here's this new track record format. We've gotten a little fancier with the Microsoft Excel. And so you can see here's a screenshot, and now you can see the list. You can just go to the website to see the details. I just want to give you an overview and kind of explain what all these numbers are, right? Because if you look at all these numbers, you may think, it looks like a lot of work, but it's not, because here's what you do. Cumulative stock points. Okay, first of all, in this column, you have the system result. Okay, from riding the swing trend, so you have these types of moves that hey, some moves can keep extending, like you see here, 123, 26, 68, 88 points there. Now this is Netflix, and not that we need to trade Netflix, it's just a popular stock. People like trading with options and following and watching as a product. So cumulative stock points. So now we did a couple of formulas to take all these stock points and just keep adding them up. So you can see here, excuse me, over a year and 5 months, just where we have the results stopped, not for any reason, just ran out of time, to that point of time where we took the sample track record. So now you have the cumulative options points, approximate in ratio to the stock point. Okay, so and this accounts for, on average, premium decay. Now some moves you don't have a premium decay issue because they take off in the money, all right, but some moves they putz around like 4 and 2 points for a few days, and then you have some premium decay. Now premium decay will be relative to how much time you have to expiration, as in you should know that if you buy options further out, you'll have less premium decay, right? But then you'll have slower delta. So you have to find that sweet spot balance, which we usually discuss in our courses. Of course, you can always ask us. Now we have the stock shares. Okay, if you traded the stocks, at 1,000 shares at a time. You can see cumulative points is represented by the system, and yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it? So I mean, you have the options contracts here, and you can see at TET contracts, you can see the cumulative points. Okay, options 100 contracts. Okay, now you're starting to look a little more exciting, right? And now you work your way up to 1,000 contracts, and you're looking at these types of methodical, systematic growth figures. Now, just because we have these types of systems results doesn't imply a promise of future returns for some of you out there who just don't understand the markets and how they work. But we do look to present to you a system that can put you in much higher probability positions than winging it. Okay, so we have these systems developed based on past repeatable price action scenarios that just keep on repeating over and over. Now, FLUX2 and the original Flux is, I mean, it's not a new concept to us. This has been running solid for, wow, what are we running? Over a decade now. So you can just get a perspective on how this system looks. Now, of course, you have this big jump because you started off with that big, nice, juicy, crazy trend. And so then you can get these, you can look at these charts for a visual. Someone mentioned to us that, oh, you should show charts. People like looking at charts. So we figured out how to do that on Microsoft Excel. I mean, I know it's, should have known that, right, and all that stuff, but it's okay, we have them now. So you can see here, pardon any of these screenshots that show some strange little characters, but that's just how it goes for now. And then you can see the acceleration here of the cumulative points. Now, if you look down here, we have Apple represented. We may put more up. I mean, really, we can just keep on putting things up and up and up, but ultimately, the system is, you know, takes the same approach. Do some stocks do better than others? Well, I mean, of course, if you have a stock that just is going sideways and then it's not swinging or trending, obviously that's not going to do, you know, as well as something that moves around a lot. I mean, the more dramatic a stock can move around, usually the better. But that's not necessarily the case, because you can trade boring stocks like Home Depot and Caterpillar, and they can put in some decent swings, or they have been able to historically. So you could trade those or whatever. There's so many different stocks out there. You may know your secret stash of super duper swing trading stocks, and just, you know, you can apply the system to that. So I wanted to give you an overall picture. What is this product? It's a home study course that teaches you the secrets of the system. So through learning through the course, and then looking to practice, you know, studying the charts historically, and then practicing reacting to bar by bar, bar by bar with historical trading, then you can start to get the system down pat. All right. And then once you get the system down pat, it has powerful ramifications for all sorts of trading. But putting this system to work in a new trading business, you know, after you learn it, of course, could be a potential very beneficial thing, especially as you compound into the future. Speaking of compounding, one more thing. These charts, let's look at Apple. These charts aren't compounded. So actually what you would do, well, what you could do is use compounding as we teach it, and you would have bigger position sizes as your account grows. So as you see these charts, you would see a much more dramatic curve that would go much more vertical, and these numbers would be bigger on the left, because if you're compounding and you had a progression of profits that went up in this angle, well, then that could be quite profitable, right? You know, so that's something to consider, that these aren't even compounded, and if you had compounding, which you should be doing anyways, then these charts would be insane. Now, the thing is, though, The only reason why we haven't put up compounding charts as of this video is that we just haven't figured out those Excel formulas. So hey, if you know any compounding formulas, let us know. But maybe we'll have the compounding up by the time you see these charts. Okay, so that's about it. If you're not on Options Trading Authority, just come on over, okay? OptionsTradingAuthority.com, and you can just do a search for FLUX3, and you can, get to work on it. Put it to work. It's not going to take you long to learn. You may want to practice it for, I don't know, what? If you do a lot of historical trading, you could learn this pretty well in a few days. Yep. But eventually you're going to have to experience trading. So what if what if you took this system, and what if you just traded one contract, okay? And you sought to build that up over time. Hey, if you can have something that resembles this, or even half of this, that could be a very great thing into the future. The problem is with most of us is we just don't take the action. To tell you what, from experience, with money, you have to take cerebral action. You can't base it on feel. It's just not going to happen unless you have a family that's really smart and shrewd with money, okay? And they have the mentality already. Most people don't have that, so you're going to have to go against your mind state, your mind state, emotional state. You're going to have to break through and be cerebral and simply execute a plan. Try things, okay? The faster you try things, you don't want to risk a lot of money, but you can even use virtual trading, okay? Or use a notepad, okay? Some of these virtual trading softwares keep going in and out. So just use a notepad like we did in the old days, okay? All right, record the options, entries, and exits, and there you have it. You don't need these computers, so except for the data. All right, so start learning this system. Okay, put it to work. Try it with one contract. What if you can get this? These are the same types of results over the past 10, 12 years. You can see our FLUX2 tracks records from the FLUX2 page listing on the site, and that's still up there. So you can see it's just the same thing over and over. Now FLUX3 has a couple other little tweaks just to make it a bit better, okay? But it's not that much different than FLUX2, right? So that said, I'm going to conclude this introduction and overview and review, or whatever words you want to call it, for FLUX3 options trading system. This is a swing system and a trend system combined. It's a merger of the two. Hence you're able to see these types of, like you saw on Netflix, and you're able to see these types of extended swing numbers. You don't see Apple. You see some. Apple usually puts in its big power trend and then goes on to something else. Netflix got itself into some nice juicy trends. So Flux is usually able to capture the big trend in addition to swings in a very neat way. Okay, so I would definitely, from my own experience with the system, put it to work. Okay, so if you can get started, do so. And hey, just think about it. Most of you options traders out there, if you look at the price, really, we're going to have to, eventually we're going to have to move these up to franchise prices. This is getting ridiculous, okay? Because these franchises are out there, collecting several hundred thousand to a couple million, and they tie up all your time. They take a ton of money. They give you a ton of liability, and they aren't as successful as projected or as mentioned in the past. There are tons of franchisees that fail. Entire chains go down, okay? And then poof, all right? And then so what are you going to put in? A few $100,000 to make less than an elementary school teacher? Sorry, elementary school teachers, you should get a raise. Okay, so then, trade Flux. So then also you have to consider, what about your next trade or two? How much are you going to lose if that goes bad, right? Are you waffling in your trading? Get Flux. 3, put it to work.